Welcome to the Daily Devo, and today we're talking how to build your own trustworthiness. Our verse for today is found in Proverbs 11:13. Whoever goes about slandering reveals secrets, but he who is trustworthy in spirit keeps a thing covered. Let's check out the Message version too. A gad about gossip can't be trusted with a secret, but someone of integrity won't violate a confidence. Have you ever been around a parrot that hears what people are saying around it and then repeats it? That parrot has no concern for what it's repeating, no concern for the language, the crassness, the confidentiality, the humor. That parrot is just doing what a parrot does, parroting. It's the same thing with gossips. Have you ever been called a gossip? Or have you ever been convicted of gossiping in your heart? What a gossip does is spread words that don't always apply to them, to others that don't really apply to them either, with no regard for the harm. There's no regard for the level of damage, for the fallout, for the side effects. That's just what gossiping does. God is really clear in his word that he hates gossip. There's so many verses in Proverbs about being cautious about somebody who spreads gossip. Gossip does not profit anything. Gossip always harms. I think a huge piece in being trustworthy is how we handle others' words and info. To be vulnerable, this is definitely something I've really struggled with in the past, especially when I was in high school. I definitely used to be an oversharer, and part of that was I was really naive, and in my heart, I didn't mean harm. I'm just kind of an includer, and I like to include people on what I had heard. But that's not good. And I had a friend who called me out towards the end of high school for blabbing my mouth, and she called me a gossip. And I was a newer believer at the time. I didn't know a lot about the Bible, but I knew that was bad. Sometimes when others' information is shared and we have to really sit with it or bring it to the Lord, what do I do with this? We have to ask, how do we respond? What's our role in this? How do we steward integrity and honor to others in this? Sometimes building trust means leaning in, and sometimes in wisdom, we go to the person and we tell them, hey, I heard this, is this true? Or so-and-so said, you said this, and I wanna know your heart. Is that real? I had an old supervisor who is great at just bringing up things into the light. It reminds me of that verse that says, what is whispered in the secrets will be shouted from the rooftops. When somebody spreads a rumor or somebody was lying about something on our team, she just opened it up in full transparency, called it out in the open. Sometimes it was handled privately to not humiliate others, but it was just such a great example of how leadership can instill trust and vulnerability that produces better teams that build trust with one another. So for us, we're choosing to build trust in relationships. How do we do that? I think one thing I've been learning lately is you're not gonna get it perfect all the time. And sometimes you're gonna make mistakes. And when you do, what do? You ask for forgiveness. I did this very recently and even just sat with the Lord and said, God, please show me what is my part in this. Show me what I did wrong. Show me in your word how I could have been better. And he did. Sometimes we need to follow Jesus's model when we're building trust in Matthew 18 and we have some conflicts and gossip with other believers. He gives us a great playbook on how to handle conflicts. I definitely encourage you to read that. Another thing is people show us if they're trustworthy. How do they handle other secrets and information? I'm a curious person by nature. I used to be a journalist, and I have asked a friend before numerous questions about another friend. And honestly, it was out of sincerity and out of care. But her response was that is not my story to tell. And in that moment, I was so impressed and realized, man, this is a person I can trust. Are you somebody that you can trust? Would you wanna confide in you And how do you handle other people's intimate secrets? We glorify God when we keep our word. We honor God when we show others honor. And we magnify that God is trustworthy when we show that we are trustworthy. Good luck building trust with the people around you. Thanks for watching the Daily Devo.